Late one night on February 8, 2021, two businessmen entered an office building in Singapore and stepped into an elevator. The security footage shows them standing inside, casually talking. To them, the ride appears completely ordinary, but little did they know they were not alone. When the elevator doors open and the men step out, something unsettling happens. Moments after they leave, an elderly woman suddenly appears in the frame. Hunched over, she slowly shuffles out of view with an unnatural, lifeless gait, almost like a corpse that has somehow learned to move. Strangely, neither of the men seem to notice her presence. The video was later shared online by someone claiming that a friend named Mike had received the clip through an email while completing an internship at a company in Singapore. The footage is an unsettling reminder to always watch your back. On the surface, SpongeBob SquarePants is about as harmless as television gets. A bright, absurd cartoon built around a cheerful sea sponge who flips burgers and laughs at everything. Nothing about it is supposed to be unsettling. Yet, for one person who captured a short video, that cheerful image took on a far darker tone. In the footage, a SpongeBob balloon drifts slowly through the air, as if carried by a gentle current. At first, the movement seems ordinary. Balloons float after all. But the motion becomes increasingly strange as it glides toward a dark hallway. As the balloon enters the darkness, it slowly rotates in midair until its face is pointed directly at the person filming. The movement is gradual, deliberate. Moments later, the balloon descends and settles upright on its 2 feet, facing the camera. Then it stops. The balloon simply stands there in the shadowed hallway, its wide cartoon grin fixed in place while it appears to stare directly back at the viewer. It's just standing there, menacingly. Spirits are believed to manipulate or even inhabit physical objects. Therefore, it's possible that something unseen briefly borrowed the most unlikely vessel imaginable. A cartoon balloon of SpongeBob who lives in a pineapple under the sea, and as absorbent and yellow and porous as he. In a homemade video, reportedly filmed in Mexico on December 12, 2010, a group of family members or friends can be seen inside a house casually passing a soccer ball between them. The atmosphere is relaxed and ordinary as they chit-chat, seemingly unaware that anything unusual is about to unfold.
Mañana vamos contra el Atlético de Madrid. ¿Para qué la avientas? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? ¡Ve, vamos! ¿Lo viste? Sí,
A tiny humanoid figure, cloaked in dark fabric, suddenly runs past the group while letting out a high-pitched squeal. The figure moves quickly across the floor and disappears into a nearby dark room. Startled, the person holding the camera rushes after it to investigate. But when they enter the room, the creature is gone. The figure's appearance briefly resembles a small, robed creature, almost reminiscent of the fictional Jawas seen in Star Wars. However, the person who uploaded the footage using the name Gustavo134 described the mysterious being in the video's title as something far more rooted in local folklore, a duende. In Mexico, the duende is often described as a small, mischievous, elf-like entity believed to inhabit forests, caves, abandoned buildings, and isolated rural homes. They're sometimes said to have wrinkled faces, oversized hats, and in some accounts feet that face backward. They're believed to lurk in thick vegetation or shadowy corners of houses, quietly observing the humans around them. Many traditional stories claim that duendes are particularly fascinated with children. According to rural legends, they may attempt to lure youngsters away by whistling, laughing, or mimicking the voices of family members calling from deeper within the woods. Some tales describe duendes as relatively harmless tricksters, playful spirits that hide tools, move household objects, braid horses' manes, or tap on walls late at night. In darker accounts, however, a duende may steal shiny objects, mislead travelers wandering through remote areas, or even attempt to abduct children who stray too far from home. Certain traditional beliefs claim that duendes are repelled by loud noises, iron objects, or disorderly homes, while they are strangely drawn to music, toys, and curious human behavior. In some rural communities, parents still warn their children not to wander alone in the forest, repeating an old caution passed down through generations. Be careful where you play, because the duende might be watching. In November 2015, a surveillance camera at a busy intersection in Xingtai, China, captured a moment that defies easy explanation. Two vehicles had come to a routine stop at the intersection. Other cars passed by, and nothing appeared unusual, until, without warning, both vehicles were suddenly lifted violently into the air by what seemed to be an invisible force. The car on the left is abruptly yanked backward. Then, immediately afterward, the vehicle on the right swings unnaturally. A few pedestrians instinctively either step back or scatter in alarm as the bizarre scene unfolds in front of them. What kind of force could possibly lift and move two vehicles like toys? Official reports later suggested that the cars had struck a fallen cable wire lying across the roadway. According to that explanation, the tension in the wire caused the violent movement when the vehicles made contact. Yet, many viewers remain unconvinced. In the footage, no cable wire can clearly be seen, and the sheer force required to lift and jerk two vehicles into the air seems difficult to reconcile with such a mundane cause. For some observers, the event feels less like an accident and more like something far stranger, as if, for a brief moment, an unseen presence reached out and made itself known. Or perhaps something inside those vehicles was never meant to be there at all. For more episodes, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications.